Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, class. How's your day? Good? Great, amazing, thank you. Before we begin, as always, let us pray together. Pray, begin, finish. So, anybody absent today? No? Great, thank you. Okay, before we started, I want to show you this footage. Okay, this is the footage that I thought. Do you know what animal this is? Exactly. This is a chameleon. So you can see they can change their color body again and again. I think this is one of the greatest natural phenomenon. Okay. This is called camouflage, or the ability to change the color of the body. Look at that. It can change from blue to green to orange and over again. Okay. So, do you know why the chameleon has to change its body color? Anybody know? Raise your hand. Rahma, do you know why? Correct. Yes, to survive and to fool its predator. Correct. So, camouflage is one of the many adaptive abilities of all living things. Okay, because today we will discuss the adaptability of animals. So previously I said that there are three learning objectives today, namely knowing the meaning of the adaptation of living things, knowing the types of adaptation, exactly, and third one is analyzing examples of animal adaptation in their environment. So I repeat it once again. First one is knowing the meaning of the adaptation of living things. Second one is knowing the types of adaptation. And the third one is analyzing examples of animal adaptation in the environment. So what is adaptation? Actually, adaptation is the ability of organisms or living things to adjust to their environment. Get it? Okay. Then what is the purpose of the organism to adapt? Anybody know? Anybody know the purpose of the goals or the goal of the organism to adapt? Yes, please. Yeah, so as not to be devoured by predators. Are you sure that that's all? Yeah, actually, there is a wider answer than that, which is more appropriate. Okay. Anybody want to help? Exactly, yes, to survive, actually. So they adapt, they can continue to survive, whether they avoid predators, find food, breed, and others. Got it? Good, thank you. Okay, so there are three types of adaptation, namely morphological adaptation, physiological adaptation, and behavioral adaptation. Okay, before we proceed, I want you to form three groups. The task of each group is to look for examples of each adaptation. Okay. Later, you will confirm after I submit the explanation. Got it? Good. So please gather together according to your respective groups, according to the presence number, right? Great. Please. Okay. So the first one is morphological adaptation. So morphological adaptation is the adjustment of the shape of the body or parts of the body so that it suits the environment. Okay. This type of adaptation is very easy to recognize and easy to observe because it is visible from the outside. Okay. This is an example. Okay, from the picture, we can know that each bird's beak has its own use according to its food. Okay, some are insectivorous, some fruits, nectar sucker, to meat eaters, all have their own characteristics. Okay, and then there are also pictures of various forms of bird legs. Can anyone give an example of one of the birds kind in accordance with this food image and function? I think is there? Anybody know? Yeah, please. Which picture do you want, Erdi? Okay, Totifalmat. For example, in which animal? Duck. Correct. So the function is? Yes, that's right. Because in between the fingers, there is a membrane. Correct. So the point is to walk in the mud or swim in water. Thank you. Give applause for heading. So and then, anyone want to add more? Oh, no, please. Yes. Yes. Which one do you choose? Normal anisodactyl. Correct. Okay. In which animal? Chicken. Correct. And the point is, yes, to scavenge food from the ground and obviously many more. Yes. There are those who grab their prey, perch on tree branches, run fast, and others. Okay, it is all adapted to needs of life of each organism. Okay, another example is what this animal does. That's it. Try to analyze. Okay, what morphological adaptations might occur in this animal? By the way, this is a grasshopper. Huh? Okay, anybody know? Rama? Yes, please. Yes, that's right. It is called camouflage. This on the praying mantis has a body that resembles a leaf and therefore will not be seen by predators. Okay, so the second one is physiological adaptation. Okay, physiological adaptation is adaptation related to function in the body of living things. Therefore, every living thing can occupy an environment. This is in accordance with the physiology of the living things. So, as an example of physiological adaptation to freshwater fish. The fluids in the body of freshwater fish contain higher salinity than the water in their environment, so that the water in the environment will enter the body of the fish by osmosis. The body of the fish will be filled with water. As a form of adaptation, the fish will drink less. Water that is abundant in the body of the fish will be issued in the form of a runny urine. With frequent urination, the fluid in the body of the fish decreases. Urine discharge in fish bodies is a form of adaptation of freshwater fish physiology to its environment. Okay. And then another example is the presence of cellulose enzymes in digestion of ruminant animals. Okay. Because their food is plants or they are herbivore, right? Which contain a lot of cellulose or fiber. So cellulose enzymes are needed to help break down these foods. Okay, so the next adaptation is behavior adaptation. Behavioral adaptation is an adaptation related to behavior of living thing in response to the state of its environment. Okay. An example of other behavioral adaptations in whales and dolphins. Both are aquatic mammals that have mammary glands and breathe using the lungs. This is the mechanism.
Larger tidal volume, and their lungs have more cartilage, making them elastic relative to ours.
Okay. Therefore, when whales and dolphins will breathe, they will come to the surface while spraying water through an inflatable hole located at the top of the head.
After collapse, they spring back.
So,
and this means they reinflate quickly,
time,
creating a low pressure which draws in fresh.
At this time, whales and dolphins breathe oxygen while releasing water as a byproduct of their breathing processes.
Oxygen-rich air. So this happens really quickly. Now, when underwater, their blowhole is closed tightly. And as they break the water's surface,
Right there,
the blowhole.
On their blowhole, right there. Okay.
Larger tidal.
And then other animals that adapt behavior are polar bears. When it's winter, they will hibernate. Okay. The goal is to reduce the metabolic power in the body so that the energy can be saved when food scarcity. Okay. And then, but but does anyone know an example of human behavior adaptation? Does anyone know example of human behavior adaptation? Can anyone give an example? Come on. No? Okay. Say, if you are cold, what are you doing? Yeah, wearing a jacket. What else? Great, rubbing your palms. What else? Much more. Come on. Okay. If we sit next to each other, it feels warm or not? Well, that's great. That is also one of the adaptation done by humans. Okay, so the type of adaptation I've already said. Now it's your turn. Okay. Okay, I'm going to group 2. Give another example of morphological adaptation in animals. Please. Example for morphological adaptation in animals. Yes, please. Great. Someone have a lean body so they can swim against the current. Great. Very nice. There are more? Anything else? Yeah, right. Frogs have bigger and stronger back limbs so they can jump. Great. Applause for group 2. And then going to for group 1. Give another example of physiological adaptation in animals. Okay. Physiological adaptation. Please. Yes. Great. Termites can digest can digest wood through the help of cellulose enzymes. Great. Once more. Or maybe adaptation made by humans. It's okay. Okay, great. People in highland have a higher number of red blood cells to bind more oxygen. Good, thank you. Applause for group 1. And then the last one for group 3. Some example of behavioral adaptation around you. Yeah, please. Great, lizard can cut off its tail. Great. Then what else? Yeah, great. Centipede curls its body if it is threatened. Good, thank you. Plus for all of you. Okay, thank you. So far, any question? No? Okay. And then I give you a conclusion. So the conclusion is that living things have 3 kinds of adaptation mechanisms. First one is morphological adaptation, physiological adaptation, and behavioral adaptation. All of 3 have aimed to maintain the survival of the organism itself. Okay. So before I end the lesson, I want to ask, do you think that the plants to the tree of adaptation or not? Okay? Do you think that the plants to the tree of adaptations? If yes, give an example. Okay? Confirm the results in next week. Great. So, and finally, thank you. Today's lesson is amazing. Great. You can be active and interact with each other. Hopefully, you can be upgraded again. Okay, see you. Goodbye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.